Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra Kaye, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. He's still bald as hell, but that's okay. Maybe one day a couple of little hairs will spring up or something, and he can do a little comb over. But anyway, welcome back. As you know, I have been gone. I guess we've been gone for about a week or so, right? 2 Sundays. So we are back on track. Uh Sorry to be gone so long, but I'm going to be here for a while. But anyway, today is the podcast. Okay, there you go. I know if you're frozen. Today is the podcast. Right now is the podcast. It is not live, but we are going to be coming back live in the evening, this evening at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. What we'll talk about, I'm not quite sure if we're going to do politics or relationships, but today we're going to do sort of like relationship because that's kind of what Donovan and I do on our Tuesday podcast. But there's politics going on as well, so we'll make a decision. Of course, you'll be in the know when we go live. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the situation between Russell Simmons and his daughters, along with that of his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons. Maybe just Kimora Lee. She's been married a couple times after that. And then we're also going to be talking about the situation between Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans NBA team and his estranged, I don't even know if she was a girlfriend at this point, but we'll call her that, love interest, Moriah Mills, who is an OnlyFans star and a porn star or something like that. And, sorry if it seems like I'm kind of freezing up a little bit, but it will catch up. All right, Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Well, first of all, I want to say welcome back. It's been a nice, quiet week without you. How was your trip?
My trip was fabulous. I needed a getaway. I went on a cruise for a couple of days and then spent some time in LA or California rather with my family. So it was good. It's good to get away, but I'm glad to be back.
Yes, hit that Mexico Riviera down there, Catalina Island, did the whole thing.
All of that.
Oh, right on, yes, right on. And by the way, thank you for, even while you were on vacation, you still put out videos in regards to your observations and stuff. And I thought that was pretty good that you still had time to, make observation and keep everything out there. But this is an interesting topic. And before we even do that, you guys, absolutely free. It's absolutely free. And we love stuff that is free. Please hit the like button. And if you guys want to do like, share, and subscribe on your platforms, become a member, and you'll get notified when Demetra puts up all kinds of videos. Even when she's on vacation, you'll be notified, and and you'll get the information and stuff like that. Interesting topic. Let's get into it. Let's see what people have to say.
All right. So of course, there's a lot going on, but we're going to start with that of Kimora Simmons and Russell Simmons. They seem to have had some sort of a debacle online. It was public for everybody to see. So I'll go ahead and put up their PowerPoint, if you will, just so you know who we're talking about in case you live under a rock or you're not old enough to even know what the heck we're talking about. So anyway, the person on my left is Russell Simmons. He is one of the founders of Def Jam and a whole host of other things. Fat Farm, clothing company that he had, maybe has, I don't know if it's still up and running, but we'll say had anyway. That was doing pretty well. Russell now lives in Indonesia. Because he was battling some accusations of, he got kind of caught up in the Me Too movement. Whether that stuff is true or not, I do not know. I'm just kind of telling you what's going on with him. You can also catch Russell Simmons on his Instagram, often giving words of wisdom. He's into yoga, he's a vegan and all that. Russell is 65 years old, which he looks really good, to be 65. All right, so the people on the right of me is Kimora Lee, along with her two daughters, which are also the daughters of Russell Simmons, Aoki and Ming. All right, so what had happened was, I'm going to try my best to explain this to you. On Father's Day, okay, put this up. Ming, the eldest daughter, who is 23, she put this up on Father's Day. And it says, as you can see, Happy Father's Day. And she tags or at her mother, Kimora, I think it says Lee Simmons, right? Now, of course, you can see Kimora is a woman, which will make her a mother. So I guess by definition, she wouldn't be a father unless that's what she's going by. I don't know. But nevertheless, Ming said Happy Father's Day to her mother. Well, that sent Russell Simmons into a tailspin. Sounds like he was pretty pissed off that she did that because, he's their father, right? Now, as far as I know, Russell Simmons has been very instrumental in the lives of his daughters. But it seems like somewhere something went wrong. And so once he saw that post, he posted, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, this one on his own Instagram, stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why they had to fight at all. Then he also said on the next slide, the father you have is the perfect father for the evolution of your soul and the lessons that you needed to learn in this lifetime. All right, so that was his rebuttal to that. So I guess maybe Ming is feeling a certain type of way as to why she posted for her mom instead of her dad for Father's Day. I should also say that Kimora Lee was a model and met, from what I understand, Russell. Now, there's kind of different stories out there, but I'm just telling you what I heard, not saying it's true. They came into contact with one another somehow when she was 15, and I guess when they were 8, she was 18. They got together. She is 48 now, and Russell's 65. So you guys do the math. Of course, they were married, and from that, as you can see in the back there, it says Baby Fat. That particular clothing line spun out of Fat Farm, which was connected to Russell Simmons' clothing line. So from that, Kimora, became, I guess, bigger and well known because, again, she was a model. All right. Now, once Russell made his rebuttal, it sounds like Aoki, the 20-year-old, put out screenshots, I guess, of her father yelling or saying different things in the conversation that they had. And Aoki went on to say that in the past couple of years, she's gotten panic attacks where she needed medication from talking to her father. I guess he gave her anxiety. She also went on to say, and this is out of order, but she was a daddy's girl. But she also said that he hadn't given her any money in years. Again, she is this one is 20. He hasn't given her money in years. I guess basically wanted her and her sister, I don't know, to figure things out on their own. But it does sound like Russell did pay a copious amount of child support. So he wasn't a deadbeat dad, or nothing like that. Let me see. I'm looking at what else is going on before I get to like the crux of what's really going on. So, of course, she's saying that her dad had been awful to her and, for years, and she's had enough. It should also be said that Russell and Kimora were friends after they got divorced because I think that they were both on a reality show together. And, they were friends. Now, she has been married, or at least that I know of, with 2 other guys. So she has a total of 5 children. She has a total of 5 children. I know she was with Hyman, Junsu Hyman. I think that's his name. African Brothers, an actor. Then her last husband, Tim Leisner, he worked for Goldman Sachs. He was a banker. Now, this is where it kind of gets kind of crazy. So in 2018, he was accused of a huge money laundering scheme. And somehow Russell got caught up in that. And so I guess Russell was mad because it sounds like he got for about $25 million. He says about 4 million shares of the Celsius drink, which from what I understand might be Kimora's. Don't get me the line, but somehow he could invested in that. And it sounds like he somehow tried to sue for the money, but he was not successful in getting it back. So he accused Kimora and her husband, Tim, of fraud and stealing the money from him. So I guess that was a point of contention that sounds like he could not let go for obvious reasons. But the daughters were saying, we were not involved in that. We didn't want to pick sides because that's our mom and it's our dad type of thing. And so here it is. But it sounds like that started because of the Father's Day post in homage to Kimora from Ming. So, Donovan, what's going on here?
Man, there's a lot going on here. And this is the problem with modern day feminism and women and modern women brainwashing their children against the father, regardless of if the father's a dirtbag or not. I mean, let's see. She was married to Russell Simmons. It's alleged that this guy, Tim, the last guy she supposedly married, that they weren't really married because he was some kind of scammer. So it's alleged. I don't know if this is a fact or not, that they really weren't married. They were in some kind of ceremony or something like that.
They were married in 2013.
Yeah. As I said, it's been coming out recently since the story broke that they might not have been married or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You're neither here nor there. And Diamond Honshu, they were never married. They had a baby and then they broke up soon after they had the baby. But yeah, you're correct. Baby Fat was funded by Russell Simmons and came out of Fat Farm and all that other good stuff like that. Ming and Aoki are about 20, in their 20s now? I would say
23.
Yeah, 20 and 23. So this kind of reminds me of Dr. Dre's children, where it's like, how much are you supposed to do as a parent before you say you're on your own? You've been given all the tools, and as a father, it bothers me when I see scenarios like this, because it's like, okay, wait a minute. Your father has obviously been involved in your life. It is Father's Day. And you are going to make, and it wasn't done to me, but as a father, I could see why Russell would be pissed off. Because for her, I believe one of them went to Harvard. And I believe his father probably paid for that, and gave her an allowance. And see, as I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff that young people do not say because they're trying to create a certain narrative. Now, number one, you and I both know our parents' business, leave it to our parents. Don't take sides. You let them battle it out or whatever they're going to do. And you love them both equally and just go about your business. But notice she never says in all her 20-something years of life how much her dad sent her to the best schools, jointly with the mom. The both parents put into that jointly. She was overseas somewhere. I guess I saw the video, and she's claiming that her dad, she didn't have enough money on her credit card and her debit card, and her dad was like, well, good luck to you, whatever, all this other stuff. But I'm very sure if you took the totality of him being a father, totally outweighs the little things that you happen to remember that you didn't like that he didn't do when asked. So when do we, as fathers and parents and mothers, say enough is enough? You're a grown person. Go get it. You've got the tools. You have a Harvard education. You have no student debt. You have been exposed to all of these beautiful countries in the world. So you have a common sense education. You have you've had the beautiful dresses. You live in the beautiful houses. You have some of the best friends. And yet you want to down talk your dad, and to me, I thought that was the most disrespectful thing. And a lot of women do it. And a lot of women do it, especially these bitter women out there. Not all women. A majority of the women don't do it. But these bitter women that speak for the majority of women do it. And I can see why the man's ticked off, because that is the most disrespectful thing you can do. A woman is not a man. Father's Day is not her day. Period. And all the things that your dad did in 20-something years of life, you can't give him homage for one day. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and I was just looking. It looked like he's paid almost $6 million in child support. So it says $40,000 since 2009, $40,000 a month since 2009, and he had to pay that until the youngest child or the last child turned 19 and a half, which would have been roughly last year. So yeah, about $6 million, give or take, is what he paid in child support. So he definitely was not a deadbeat dad.
Right, not including before he had to pay child support as a doting father, always involved in his children's life. Because you saw pictures of Russell Simmons, he always had his family around him, always.
Hold on a second. Okay, yeah. So I'm bringing up the child support simply because when you're together, you don't really count that because you guys are together, type of thing. But I wanted to make an issue of it being child support because obviously when they broke up, sounds like the mom probably had primary custody, Kimora. So yeah, because she's getting the child support. So I just wanted to make it clear that he did pay his child support. It says that Russell Simmons is worth about $340 million. So he's got a lot of money. But to me, it sounds like, and I don't know their situation, but I wanted to say from what I can see, it looks like the girls may be a little bit on the spoiled side and have a false sense of entitlement, if you will. And I think that's probably apropos, especially when it comes to people who come from wealth, such as the Simmons. Russell Simmons is very wealthy, and their mom, I would imagine, is probably wealthy to some degree. And so, they probably just feel like you should continue to take care of me. I should have everything I want at my disposal. For whatever reason, that did not happen. And Kimora, I know a little bit about her. She seems like she's very conniving and underhanded. And so it would not surprise me that she's probably alienated the girls a little bit away from their father. Now, taking it back to her, and sounds like too, Jaimin had some issues with her as well, as far as his son. Do they have two sons together or one? And she has two kids with the last husband, because I know she has 5 children. So however that is, sounds like, if I remember, he was also complaining about her keeping the child or children, however many they have together, away from him. And that wasn't that long ago. So, I don't know. It just sounds like Kimora may have some issues. But yeah, it sounds like maybe they're a little bit on the spoil side, and Pops, for whatever reason, may have cut them off, or say, hey, you get it out the mud, you do what you want to do. Now, let's say that they have been alienated. Maybe they were with the stuff, talking crazy to them, and, at the behest of their mama or whatever. And let's just keep it a buck. I think anybody would be mad if they felt like $25 million was stolen from them, and at the helm of the ex-wife and her husband, because he was caught up in a big time money laundering scheme. Now, whatever actually happened to it, I don't know. I don't know if it's still ongoing or what, but I know that they were trying to say that Kimora and him were divorced at the time. She didn't have anything to do with it, but it sounds like maybe she was involved. So there's a lot going on there. Nevertheless, Russell did get caught up in it. So yeah, I can see him being pissed off. Now, I don't think that, if he did, that is the girls' issue, because it doesn't sound like they had anything to do with it. But I don't know. Maybe something was said. Maybe because one of the daughters, I can't remember which one it was, she did kind of defend the mom and say it wasn't stolen from you. You lost it. So I don't know if it's more or less like you invested this, and that's kind of what happens when you invest. But she did say it wasn't stolen. You lost it. So it kind of sounds like she was maybe defending the mom a little bit. But I want to say this. Yeah, I think that was the last nail in the coffin for Russell. I think it would infuriate anybody to look up on Father's Day and you learn that your daughter paid homage to her mother instead of you. Yeah, I think that would send somebody into a rage. Now, should also be said that I guess he did call, I don't know if it was Aoki or Ming, which one of them was, and he was yelling on FaceTime, but it was muted, so you couldn't hear what he was saying, but you could tell that he was pretty enraged. And I would imagine he was probably saying, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Why would you pay homage to your mama and not me, on Father's Day? Because nobody is accusing Russell of being a deadbeat. Nobody's saying he wasn't there. So it's like, what really is the issue? What will cause you to say Happy Father's Day to your mama? Now, we also know that's a sore point on Father's Day with many women who somehow, or women's children who say, well, I'm saying Happy Father's Day to my mama because my daddy wasn't there. Or you see women posting things like Happy Father's Day to me because I'm the mama and the father. And I'm like, unless you intersex, or, I ain't gonna say the other word because my daughter says that's derogatory. Unless you're both. But so, yeah, we've seen that kind of be a trend. So I can see why he was mad, because it's like, for one, if you're not going to say Happy Father's Day, that's fine. But do not say Happy Father's Day to your mama.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, that's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful because your father was in your life. It's one thing if your father was never in your life, because even after they got divorced, you would still see them at events together and stuff, and they were friends. They co-parented what appeared to be very, very fine. And I believe they even vacationed together, and Russell is the uncle of her other children, or like a godfather to their other children. So, why isn't it that these women and people, men too, do not think of how the other person would feel in a situation like that? Now, my biggest question is this. When you brought up the fact that her daughter said that, oh, Dad, you lost the money. See, this is what sticks me as a father. Why would she even know that information? because somebody's telling her that information and feeding it to her. Now, I can only assume that it's the mother. Why are the parents, these adults, involving children in adult situations? Now, Demetra, you're not as old as I am. You were born in what, 2000, 2010, I forget, whatever it is. But we had to go outside and play. When adults were in a room talking and stuff, you had to transverse the room. You could only go there so many times before they say, stay your ass outside. We're having a conversation in here. I could not tell you growing up any of the trials and tribulations my mother had gone through, or my uncle, or anybody else had gone through, because it wasn't none of my business. For her to say, Dad, you lost the money, how would she know that? Because unfortunately, a lot of parents, especially the custodial parent, brainwashes the child against the other parent. And I am a firm example of that actually has happened to me. And it's very disrespectful when, here you are, you're paying all this child support, which is fine. You can take the child support, no big deal. But to brainwash, especially a man's child against him, but yet you're still accepting that man's money and support, that is the most disrespectful thing you could do. So it's unfortunate. But again, like you said, I believe the daughters, and they're beautiful girls. Kimora Lee is a beautiful woman. I'm not going to take that away from her. Beautiful daughters, but they suffer from, what was that thing, that kid, he was so rich that he couldn't understand what he was doing. Yeah, there's some kind of term for it.
Affluenza.
Yeah. And it's obviously they suffer from affluenza. And it's really, kind of ironic, because this is how it's supposed to be, Black people in our community. Russell came from meager beginnings. There's even rumor he was a pharmacist, street pharmacist, growing up to survive and do what he's got to do, right? He got it out of the mud. But then he gave his children a better life than he did, which is what you're supposed to do. But unfortunately, because they don't know what it is to struggle, they don't know what it is to eat cornflakes every day, and not even the original Kellogg's box. You got the off-brand box. They don't know what that is. They live in a different type of situation to where they figure, oh, I'm supposed to be taking care of whatever. Affluenza. And it's so sad, because here this man worked so hard to do better for his family, and just to be disrespected like this. It's unfortunate, but it happens every day.
Yeah, so I was just looking up some stuff too while you're talking. So Kimora is worth 80 million. Tim is worth 25 million from what they're saying. Now I looked up Jaimin and her situation. So in 2019, he also complained on Father's Day that she was keeping their child from them, their son. So maybe she has 4 children, not 5. Keeping the son from him. And saying that she wouldn't let her see him. So he filed for joint custody. And she was saying that he wasn't paying child support, and that he threatened to take the child back to Africa, that kind of stuff. So I say that to say Kimora has a history of having fallouts with, her baby daddies. Now she has a son from, it looks like, with Tim, the last husband. So it sounds like she has a history of leveling claims on the fathers once maybe she can't get her way, or she falls out with them. Because in that situation, too, it says that they were good friends, but for whatever reason, when it came down to custody matters, she levels these claims, and then they talk about, I'm not able to see my child. And so kind of, to me, I don't know, just from what I'm reading, I don't know them personally, that Kimora is a problem. That Kimora, is basically trying to do what a lot of, well, not all, but a lot of women do. It's my children, and you can't see them. And like Russell said, you always talk about the father should fight hard to see the child, but y'all never raise the question of why he has to do that in the first place. Like, why is the mama, being difficult? So in this situation, I see a lot of people online. It's kind of like half and half, with people, saying, oh, Russell's a horrible person. There's just going to be some people out there that's going to think that a man has no rights, no say-so in the life of his child, or he should just roll over, take it, get kicked in the behind, and just wait for some more, kicking in the behind. But then there's a lot of people are saying, nah, it just sounds like the issue of some spoiled children, and Kimora's on that BS because it's not the first time. But my thing is too, I just think with Russell, it's just a situation of I'm not going to be quiet no more. I'm not going to sit back and act like this is cool, because in a lot of cases, you have people who are expected to be the bigger person. Oh, just don't say nothing. Because people tell them, oh, this shouldn't be online and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, she disrespected him online by posting her mama. And it's like, keep it a buck. Your mama was a model. I'm not saying she couldn't have maybe made it on her own, but she got catapulted to where she was because of your daddy. Nobody was really even knowing who Kimora was like that until she got with Russell. And then, of course, the brands and stuff that came out or whatever the case is. So it's like, when you post Happy Father's Day to my mama, even though your daddy was around, we never heard nothing about Russell being a deadbeat and not paying his responsibilities. And you do that, yeah, it sounds like you chosen a side. Because it's like, we got to be careful and really listen to what people say. Because the daughter was like, well, I didn't pick a side. But then she goes on to say it wasn't stolen from you, it was taken. And then you go ahead and post your mama on Father's Day. It sounds like you chose a side to me. Because if you were neutral, you would say, okay, I'm wishing my mama a happy Mother's Day. Then I'm going to wish my daddy a happy Father's Day. But to me, I think this is what some people do. They poke the bear. And then when the bear bites back, it's like, oh my God, I don't understand why you're not supposed to bite me back. I'm allowed to just poke you. And that's what she did, because goddamn well, you posting that on Father's Day was going to send your daddy in a rage. Something tells me, because listen, we all know our parents. We know their triggers for the most part. And you ain't going to tell me you didn't know your daddy was not going to be mad like he stepped on the doggone beehive. Sure, he was going to be mad, and you knew it.
And then you got to take into account Russell's age. The man's 65 years old. When he got with Kimora, I think that he was about 34, 35. She was like 18 or something, whatever it was. But there's a significant age gap. So he's 65. So I know she alleged there might be some mental issues. Maybe there is, but maybe he's at a point where he, like you said, he's had enough. That that's enough. And this thing about keep quiet and stuff. Demetra, you recently put out a video while you were in Catalina in regards to observing what you were seeing out in Catalina in regards to Black women. Now, you could have easily not said anything and did whatever, right? But you, for some reason, had to speak out because you were sitting there with your father and you guys were people watch, because I love the people watch too. And you just happen to notice certain things. And the thing this is what I keep saying about people. Even if what you're saying could be totally wrong, it starts a dialogue for people to think. So yes, you should speak out and speak your opinion. You could be totally wrong and you might get educated on Demetra does it to me all the time. All right. So there it is in black and white. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion and being educated about your opinion, especially if you don't have enough information in regards to it. So keeping quiet, yeah. I think Russell just said, you know what? I've had enough. $6 million, and you're going to project in child support now, and you're going to project me. And let's be real. When women put stuff like that out there, the perception in the real world is, oh, he's a deadbeat. When somebody pays $6 million in child support, that ain't a deadbeat in my book. That's not a deadbeat in my book. If you're putting $6 million in child support out there and you're talking about you still can't get it out of the mud, sorry. Matter of fact, you should be on your hands and knees kissing your father's feet for giving you the lifestyle that you enjoy.
And yeah, they did say, oh, he appears to be mentally ill or suffering from dementia. I'm calling bullcock on that. I think that's another way to form a false narrative on him because they can't get their way with him. Now, again, I'm not speaking from inside knowledge because none of us really have inside knowledge. We only go off of what we know and what they posted on the internet. But I just think it's another way to demonize him because you can't get your way with him. How many times have somebody has said, you heard somebody say, oh, you crazy, oh, you tripping, because they didn't like you maybe putting your foot down or not putting up with their stuff. Oh, you just tripping. Oh, so then they try to label you as being something that you're not. But I'm going to tell you how petty I am. If my child did that to me and I'm not mentally ill or suffering dementia, I'm going to take your ass to court. I'm going to take you to court. I may not win, but I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to make you back up all that stuff you're saying on the internet. I'm mentally ill. No, I ain't mentally ill. You spoiled because you can't get your way. You can't manipulate me. See, that's a form of manipulation. oh, well, he's something wrong with him because he just won't let me, say and do what I want to say about him. Come on now, I don't care if he was Jesus. Jesus had some children, and his children put up Happy Mother's Day or Father's Day to the mother of his children. I think Jesus would be mad. We know Jesus turned over some tables in the, in the temple, whatever. So to say that he's got issues because he didn't like what you did, and that's what I always say to people. You can't do stuff to people that's harmful, whether it's mentally, physically, and then dictate how they get to respond. Doggone well your daddy was gonna be mad and that he would blow a gasket. And I'm not, everybody, yeah. And if we know anything about Russell Simmons, the dude has always got his legs crossed. He's woo-san, he's yogaing, and he's in peace and all that. So to me, I think it took a lot for him to publicly, and he did apologize, for yelling at his daughter, stuff like that. But I think it would probably take a lot for somebody like that to really be that upset. And so you put that out on the internet. Happy Mother's Day. And you come on, your mom and dad are both famous. You knew the blogs and everybody else was going to run away with it. You knew your daddy was going to hear about it. You put that on the internet, and now you are taking issue with him and his mental capacity because you didn't get to dictate how he received that. You know your daddy wasn't going to say, well, that's the way she sees it. I'm good with that. You knew he was going to be mad. Now you can't control that narrative. So now you're going to go out there and say, oh, he mentally ill. Or we think he got dementia. Why? Because he won't let you play with him? No, maybe you're mentally ill. But if I was him, she better be happy she ain't my child, because I'd be don't.
I just, before we didn't need to go to Judge Jerry. He was even better. No, but before we transition, you alleged Kimora has had some issues with Damon Hakizanchu, her former boyfriend.
Jaimin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and things like that, and let's just be real, Demetra. If it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. This manipulative behavior obviously has been taught from the mother to the daughters. The custodial parent has taught these manipulative behaviors to the daughters because, again, problems with the last boyfriend, problems with the new ex-husband or whatever the deal, this manipulative stuff, whatever. And guess who gets all of the blame? The black man.
Well, yeah, I mean, but again, like I said, you can't mess with people and then decide how they receive that. I mean, everybody ain't gonna be cool with you doing that to them. So yeah, I'm not mad at Russell. I know somebody will come on here and take issue. Somebody will bring up, oh, well, he got one Kimora when they was 15. We don't know that to be fact, but let's say even if he did, he's a horrible person if he did, but that has nothing to do with this, okay? Kimora's never made that an issue. Why are you making that an issue? Stop conflating and throwing stuff. I call that the kitchen sink approach. You're throwing everything with the kitchen sink in there, everything that does not matter to this conversation right here. They got 2 children. They weren't married. And so to try to say he deserves A, B, C, and D, let's not commingle the issues, okay? They're separate issues or whatever cases. There's never been any proof he's done anything ill or inappropriate with Kimora, even though there's speculation. So I just want to say that. Nor am I condoning it if he did. I'm just saying let's keep the main thing. Okay. All right.
And real quick, and you know how I feel in regards to my situation. I mean, I would feel no different. To me, that is the right response. That is the right response. In my situation, after everything that I've done, the child support and everything, and the alienation of my children, man, I go off. So, Russell Simmons, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
All right, so we moving on to the next one, and this woman that I have put up here is named Moriah Mills. Okay, I did some research. So I'm gonna try to give y'all what I know. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I did some research on her, and I think I put in about 16 hours worth of video research. And let me tell you, I am pretty educated on this woman's body of work.
Okay, so that's Moriah Mills. 32-year-old, and I'm telling you what I learned. She is a porn star, also has an OnlyFans account, and somehow she got involved, and I imagine it's probably along that avenue somewhere, with New Orleans Pelicans basketball star Zion Williamson. So he is 22. So there's a 10-year age gap there. Sounds like they met in 2001 somewhere. Now, throughout their relationship, it sounds like he's given her a lot of money. And all hell broke loose one particular day when this picture, because that's him, and that's the girlfriend, Akila, I think her name is. Let me make sure. I think it's Akila or something. Akima is her name. Akima. So this is the girlfriend, Akima and Zion. They announced that they are expecting a baby girl, I think January or something like that. Okay? They're expecting about sometime the end of this year. Baby girl. Now, when Moriah found out, all hell broke loose. Now, they made this announcement on June 6th. And from June 6th, Moriah has been making herself known and her displeasure known by what happened. Okay. So she started off tweeting, oh, you better hope I'm not pregnant too, because I'm late. So if you didn't know, Zion and Moriah had a thing and physical and all that other stuff. Okay. So she tweets that I'm definitely late. Then she goes on to tweet a whole bunch of different things about them being involved. You didn't tell me about your girlfriend. Does she know about me? And all this other stuff. And she says that she believes that Zion got Akima, his girlfriend, pregnant when she was recovering from a failed butt reduction surgery. So I guess she couldn't perform her duties with him. And so she's saying perhaps he went off and got with Akima. And whatever the case is, she's also going on to say that Zion, his family and friends, and Akima's family and friends have threatened physical violence against her. Now, mind you, she has gone on a tweet rampage for about 2 weeks or so now, right? So she's saying that she has gotten threats. She can prove, she can back up this, that, and the other. She's also told Zion via Twitter, you need to get a DNA test because I don't think that's your baby. I hate that I'm sounding like Wendy Williams, but we're drawing a point here, okay? So basically, this sounds like a situation of her being scorned, right? A woman scorned, found out that her man, which it sounds like she thought Zion was her man, has a girlfriend and she's pregnant. They're expecting this, that, and the other. Now, his father, Anderson, somehow got involved during a charity event because it sounds like Zion has gone on some sort of a thing trying to clean up his image, donating a lot of money to different charities in Louisiana. And during one charity event, the father basically said, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. I'm standing with my son, and things like that. But it sounds like it was unbeknownst to that of Zion. So it was just kind of impromptu for what they're saying. And what else has happened? So this is where it came to yesterday. Moriah tweeted, NBA, I have sex tapes of me and at Zion Williamson, and he also has them on his trap phone at NBA, at Pelicans NBA. Trade him now. He doesn't deserve to be in New Orleans. Sex tapes dropping soon. So she tweeted that yesterday. As you can see, a lot of people retweeted it. And, more people than I would imagine liked it, over 5,000 people. And so people have been giving her grief, like, come on, girl, move on. All right. Now, it sucks that he did that to you. And I agree. It does suck to have somebody who you think is your man kind of spring it on you that, hey, I got a new boo, whatever the case is. That sucks. But a lot of people are saying basically just take it on the chin, right? Take it on the chin. Keep it pushing. You're doing too much. And the other thing that she needs to consider is you doing something like that. That's considered revenge porn. You can't do that. As revenge porn, as far as I know, is illegal in 30 states, if not more at this point. Louisiana being one of those states. Revenge porn is you were in a relationship with somebody and maybe you guys sent each other pictures or videotapes. You taped each other's things or whatever your interactions. And then once you've broken up, once somebody is scorned, then the other person's like, all right, I'm going to release it and let everybody know what you look like under the sheets. You can't do that. You can get in a lot of trouble for doing that, because those laws came about because people were doing that. They were, putting pictures out of their ex in some way, shape, or form, whether they were nude or sex tapes and all that kind of stuff. And there's shame involved in that, and it's done to shame the person and to humiliate them. So she does that. It will definitely be considered revenge porn. Now, the other thing is she's beckoning upon that of the NBA, his employer, right? The Pelicans, to fire him because she is scorned, right? She feels a certain type of way. So she wants the employers to be on her side and to get him for doing what he did to her. So I'm going to leave my commentary for later. But Donovan, what say you about what I just said?
Yes. Again, let me tell you about her body of work. I'm telling you, this woman, no. If you haven't seen it, it's anyway, go ahead.
We saw it. Her body of work looks like it's, a lot of plastic, but go on.
Yeah, it's a lot of plastic. How many of you guys know that this woman appeared on the Wendy Williams show? She was a guest in the audience, and she had asked Wendy a question about, oh, the women hate on me and all this other stuff. And what is your advice to me? Whatever deal is. And Wendy gave her some of the best advice, I thought, an honest advice that an older woman should give a younger woman. Well, when you sign up for the plastic and the booty and whatever, you sign up for whatever comes with it. Which was really good. So if you guys ever get a chance, go on YouTube and put in Moriah Mills on the Wendy Williams show, and you'll see the video. So she was on that show, and she looked, at the time, I'm not sure if she was into corn or not, but whatever the deal is. This is an example of financial literacy, and I'm talking from a male's point of view right here, right now. Now, I know Demetra might not agree with me, and a lot of women won't agree with me because they don't want men to be financially literate. This also goes to when you do not have older, responsible men around you. If I was Zion's stepfather, the first thing I definitely would say, ain't no ass worth $100,000 a month. It just doesn't happen. So this is what I mean by financial literacy. This is what's happening to these young players that get these big old contracts and to just throw the money out the window like it doesn't mean anything. I don't know if Demetra agrees with me or not, but $100,000 a month to have sex with an individual, that's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous. So we need more financial literacy within the community. His girlfriend that's pregnant, Akima, there's a video of her on YouTube. You could look it up. And this woman, I was born in Louisiana. I call it Louisiana. And let me tell you, some of them girls down there, they could throw hands. And there's a video of Akima throwing hands, and she's an older woman as well. And she's supposedly a entertainer in the gentleman's club. And she has another child, an older child, or whatever the situation is. And then it is alleged that 3 other women have come out against Zion, saying that they also are, in a situation or whatever the deal is. And I think the 3 women that came out against him are also in the adult entertainment industry. So right there, that tells you right there that whatever the NBA is doing, and I got to speak on the NBA, the Ja Morant situation, as these younger players are coming into the league, it's obvious that there is nobody there to mentor them as the older players are transitioning out and stuff like that. Nobody's mentoring these young guys. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how this is going. But let me go on to revenge and all this other stuff. Number one, why would you go out there and kill the golden goose? Number one, what Zion needs to do, number one, is to lawyer up and slap a cease and desist against her. That's what he should be doing. That's what I'm saying. His stepfather with all this great advice, I believe my son and all this other stuff. Why don't you give him the advice he really needs to know? Number one, as soon as this woman came out, go get a lawyer and put a cease and desist and slap a silence, muzzle her right now. That way, you can deal with it in the court, in that deal. He's not getting any good advice from his parents or anybody else. I mean, he needs to surround himself with people that are going to protect his brand. Now, this woman, regardless of if Zion is doing this or doing that, I don't think a man is going to continue to deal with you if you keep putting him on blast like that. So whatever she needs to do it, quietly in the courts, and she needs to lawyer up and do what she needs to do if that's what she needs to do. But to kill the golden goose, this man had not a guaranteed contract. His contract, after these allegations came out, allegedly, has been changed now to where it's not guaranteed anymore. So they're killing the golden goose, and he isn't doing his career any good because he hasn't played a lot of games. And this man's not even 23 years old yet, 24 years old. And I just wish young people, especially young ladies, would think about what they're doing before they do it. You're dealing with a man that has means. I get it. Get as much money as you want. He's dumb enough to give it to you. Fine. You get it. But don't kill the golden goose. That's something you shouldn't do. If Zion loses everything, gets kicked out of the NBA, whatever, now what? He's got a baby on the way right now. How is he gonna pay for all that and do all that and then continue to pay you $100,000 a month or whatever the deal is? We really got to think about this. But for Zion, it's obvious. This man went to Duke University for 1 year. It's obvious that he didn't go to class. It is obvious he did not go to class, because there is no way I would be paying somebody $100,000 a month, knowing she's busting it wide open on Pornhub and all this other stuff where everybody can see it. Filming his indiscretions. He needs to get a lawyer and lawyer up and put a muzzle on this chick. If she releases that tape, you're absolutely right. That is a crime, and it's called revenge porn, and she could be liable. But you know what? They got some women out there. We live in a society where women in general are unaccountable for some of the things that they do because they are scorned or they're the victims. And I get it. I get it. What was done to them should not have been done. But unfortunately, she's going to put it out there, and it's going to be a big mess.
So I was just looking. It looks like he signed a 5-year, contract with the Pelicans for $195,000. $195 million. That would give him about almost $39 million a year. Also says that he makes about $15 million in contracts. But right now, from what I saw, his net worth, it says it's $15 million. So I don't know, numbers are all over the place. But nevertheless, $18 million. But nevertheless, he's got some money, but is 22, so he doesn't have a lot of money in regards to where he is in life and where he is potentially laying his seed. All right. To me, he's 22. That's young to have that much money. But it also speaks, because at the end of the day, you can't control what your children do, but also it speaks to it. To me, apparently it doesn't sound like his mother or father has poured a lot of wisdom into him, because it's more or less like, son, you're going to come into a lot of money. We've never had that kind of money before. So you need to, look out for A, B, C, and D. However, that doesn't come when you get that money, right? That teaching comes from the cradle, where you instill good values and morals and a whole bunch of stuff into your children. So that way, when they get to that point, it's like, I already know that. I know I'm not going to be with a whole bunch of hoes. And literally, right? Because she's a hoe. Let's just keep it real. I'm not going to be with a whole bunch of hoes. I'm not going to be out there spreading my seed and the Kimora and the Boomquisha and whoever he's out there with, right? It's just kind of wisdom, but it sounds like somebody dropped the ball. So the other thing too is he's a hoe. You can still be a hoe with a lot of money. For some reason, he feels like he needs to find validation in women. It's even porn stars, where he's paying them a lot of money, because it sounds like he was wiring her and giving her a lot of money. He was taking care of her partially because she was a porn star. I don't know why you want to be with a porn star, but that's his business. So somewhere he's got a little bit of low self-esteem. But the other side of that too, as far as her, play your position. You know who you are to him. You didn't meet him at no church. Now I know there's a lot of holes up in the church, but let me shut up because I'm getting in trouble. And I'm sure you didn't meet at church. I'm sure you met somewhere swinging on the pole. He watched one of your videos somewhere and he got y'all contact. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, play your position. Don't get brand new, chick. Don't get brand new. You know who you are. You know he wasn't. Did he take you to meet his mama and them? Because it don't sound like they knew you. Did you, or was you a dirty little secret that like people know about you? I'm sure you was somebody he was pulling a weave off in the hotel, high-end 5-star hotel, whatever he was sending you money. And clearly, that's all you were to him because he went off and got somebody who he is saying publicly, this is my girlfriend. She's having my baby. That is who he's claiming. He's never claimed you, right? So the other side of that is you're stupid for thinking that you were somebody to him. And you're also stupid if you didn't stack none of that money. Because if he's sending you $100,000 here and there, what is you doing with it? Plus, you're working, ain't you? You got an OnlyFans account, you're a porn star, so you should have been stacking some of that money to where one day you see on the internet that he's announced that he's got a pregnant girlfriend, and you say, well, that sucks, it hurts, but guess what? I got a lot of money out of this cat, right? So to me, it's stupidity on both ends of it, but I would say this, from a woman's point of view, and this is why it's important for women to understand in situations like that, you're probably going to be the one holding the bag that's empty or whatever the case is because you didn't make sure that man was committed to you. You laying on your back, you swung from the chandelier, swung down poles and did a whole lot of freaky stuff for this man, but you never made sure that you were his girl. I never seen no pictures of them together, but then again, I don't know even know who these people are, so maybe they were spotted out together. I don't know. But Moriah, you didn't do your due diligence to make sure that was your man. And I know I'm kind of being a little bit raw here, but when I see a situation and you a hoe, but then you mad because you're not getting treated like a housewife, why are you mad? Are you mad at all the other dudes that, watch you do what you do on OnlyFans and they give you a couple of bucks and then you never hear from them again? Are you mad at them? Or are you just mad at him because he was probably just the one that was paying you the most money, but essentially you were giving the same service, except for he was probably benefited from it just a little bit more physically or whatever. But it's like, listen, I get it. I've been what you call scorned before by by most of the dudes I've been with. You know what I mean? I've been scorned, but I never went to the internet because I can always tell when a woman or even a man has been scorned by somebody. They all up on the internet. Oh, N words ain't this, or B's ain't that, or how could I took mine on the chin every time? I took it on the chin and I did what I got to do, right? I'm like, it sucks, it hurts. I'm gonna cry up off of this thing, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice to her. Girl, shut your ass up. I said I was gonna stop cussing. Maybe next time. Shut up. You know who you were not to him. Play your position, and the next time that happens, get a bag on that sucker, realize who you are to him, and if you want to be more, you need to ask him questions. Hey, you know what? I want to come up off the pole. I want to close my OnlyFans account. You gonna walk me down the aisle? Nah, you just a trick to me. All right, then you just a trick to me too. Keep it pushing.
Yeah, if you really think about it, with her making those threats, isn't that borderline? What's that crime? It's called extortion. Isn't that borderline extortion?
It's extortion, but see what happens is when you are emotionally devoid and you don't know how to control your emotions, you do and say things incriminating. Because he could go after her for that's extortion, and you're so unraveled that you're putting it all up on the internet. Well, if you don't give me my way, basically, if you don't leave her, or if the NBA don't fire him, then I'm gonna do something negative. That's extortion.
Yeah, because there are rumors now that they're hunting him to be traded from the new. We don't know what the reasons are, but it's kind of coincidental this incident is happening, and he hasn't been playing. He has a weight clause in his all kinds of stuff. But and then I got to admonish Zion.
Let me just say this before you. I don't mean to cut you off, but I doubt very seriously the NBA is thinking about trading him because of that. Y'all really think that he is the only one that got indiscretions with women? He ain't married. She wasn't married. So it wasn't like he was cheating on his wife or nothing like that. Dudes with a lot of money, they buy booty. That's not a crime. You know what I mean? Because it sounds like they work in some sort of relationship. So it wasn't like engaging in prostitution per se. So I don't think the NBA is a stranger to that type of stuff. However, they don't like the negative attention. But what this is just a woman who's scorned. And I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to her feelings, but you don't have a right to try to ruin somebody's life because you didn't get a sign on the dotted line with him.
Right. You know, there's going to be a lot of people say, well, that is buying booty and it is illegal. If they're boyfriend and girlfriend, okay, if they're boyfriend and girlfriend, if my girlfriend said, Donovan, I need $500. Could you give it to me? And I give it to her and we have sex just before I give it to her. Is that a crime? No, it's not. That's my girlfriend. So she's under the impression they were in some kind of relationship. So like you said, it's known in the NBA. They got groupies, these women trying to get a bag, whatever the deal is. It's known. It's a known thing. But the last thing I'm going to say in regards to this situation, if you haven't checked out her work, check out her work. She's average. She's not nothing great. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, she isn't doing anything spectacular. Or make her a goat. Put it like that. You know, I know a lot of goats. She's not a goat. Zion, you need to stop contacting this woman, because I guess he tried to contact her, allegedly tried to contact her again, talk about asking her to take it down and stuff like that. Stop conversating with this woman. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. If you get back with this woman after she's done this, you're a damn fool.
And I also want to say this. She's 32. He's 22. She's got 10 years on him chronologically. She's got 10 years of life on him. I'm sure she's been around the rodeo quite a bit before she got to him. So I say that to say, not to absolve him of anything, but to say she's a professional. I'm sure she put it on him like nobody else has ever put it on him, you know, and every hole he was able to use. And then she probably even made some. The point that I'm making is she knew what she was doing. You know that he's 22 to me is a kid. He's a stupid kid who did not get the right life lessons from his parent and his daddy, because that's the kind of stuff his daddy and his mama, because, you know, I told my nephews, hey, you know, they out there. You know what I mean? Be wise. So he didn't get that. Plus, he's a stupid kid, came into a lot of money, everything he could buy, whatever he wanted, including strippers and hoes or whatever the case is. And there's no doubt in my mind that she saw a sucker and she licked him because she's got that experience on him. And I don't know how old Kimora is, but maybe he found somebody he liked that's, more his.
Yeah, Kima's like 29, 32.
So she old too, in the larger scheme of things, right? So you got these older women that's coming after this young boy. I know he's a man chronologically, but he's a boy to me, going after him. And he found something in common with her. And whether it's an oopsie baby or whatever, they got a baby, whatever. So it's like, you knew, Moriah, was you trying to make this man your husband, or what? Did you see him for a bag? Eventually, the bag does get empty.
Great, and everybody comes down on Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner told Deion Sanders brought Brittany Renner in when he was at Jackson State to tell the guys what to avoid, what to look for, what the deal is. She gave the game out there, and yet these guys are still falling into these traps.
When you let's keep it a buck. A lot of men who've been with older women, you couldn't tell her no. You didn't want to tell her no, right? Because she had your nose wide open, and you ain't never been with such a fine thing and experience.
I've always dated older women, and I'm telling you, my nose was wide open with my one woman that taught me a lot.
Yeah, so imagine, being on, and I know you were around that age, 22 years old, with an older woman. She's a goddess to you. She's everything. So, like I said, Moriah sounds like she's a very experienced woman. You got with this kid, and you got together in 2021. So he was 19, 19, 20. So he was still even more so of a kid. So my thing is, shame on you, hooker. Shame on you for getting with a guy that's 19. You're 10 years older than him. What did you expect? That's what 19-year-olds and 22-year-olds do. They hop up on you like a trampoline. And in his mind, maybe he thought, okay, she gonna be my woman. But then he's 22. So they change women like they change underwear. Yeah, he was probably out there being a player. Let's keep it a buck. But he wasn't married. He wasn't committed to you. He gets with another woman and they get knocked up and he makes this announcement. So it's like, why are you really mad? You should be mad at yourself for one, chasing after a child, having this child send you all this money, let him use every hole available on your body, and then you didn't get a commitment. So to me, I would think she'd be used to that. Like, why are you getting brand new now? I'm confused with. Because if I was in her situation, I would just know that's the role I'm playing. Easy come, and they gonna go. And then when he go, then I hook up. And my other thing too is, Moriah, was he the only dude you was linking? Or did you have some other ones on the roster? I would tend to think, and of course they ain't gonna say nothing because they like hell to the now. I'm gonna keep quiet. But I very seriously doubt that he was the only man she was with. I'm just gonna say
right
that.
because it's just like the girl that's had a baby. There's pictures of her and what's that guy Boosie? She was known to be with like different. I don't know what the capacity of being with them, but she's in pictures with all these different celebrities. She was an attractive girl. But here's the funny thing, real quick, before we close out. As enhanced as Moriah Mills is, she's got the contacts, she's got the boobs, she's got the butt, all that other stuff like that. Even his girlfriend that's having the baby, she's a little enhanced and stuff like that, whatever the deal is. What I think is really making Moriah crazy a little bit is the fact that, okay, she's in her 30s now, okay? Now, I know, Kevin Samuels is not very popular with a lot of women, but maybe she's at that phase where she's like, okay, I've done all of this for so many years. I want to be a wife. I want to do these things. And she's like, maybe she's scared that the time is running out of her finding a husband. Because think about it. If, you're a known corn star and you want to be married, what man, and you're living a certain lifestyle, what man is going to wife you up at that lifestyle level? Do you see what I'm saying? And maybe she's panicking.
I don't know, Moriah. I doubt very seriously because I know you're going with the whole wall scenario. She ain't got no walls, and I don't know if she still got walls, but I don't think that's her concern. From what I can understand, from what it may be, as you chose her over me. You see all of this and all of that, and I done let you use everything I got. And I done gave you the midnight, clicking the heels in the air special. I get you, and you chose her over me because that's what she said. She even called the girl a low budget porn star. So it's like, I think it's that competition thing. Like, how dare you replace me? Do you know who I am? I think that's really what it is because
right with a commoner. This girl's a commoner. I'm known.
I didn't know who the lady was until I eat to this. Not that I follow porn stars. That's more your thing. But, I think that's what it is. It's a competition thing, and she was replaced. But that's also a mistake because, like I said, I've never been in Moriah's field of work. But if I was, I think I would play my cards right. I'd be like, I know I'm replaceable. I know they're going to build a better model or whatever the case is. Let me stack all my chips. Let me get all I can when, not if, but when this thing comes to a screeching halt.
See, and that's what women got to realize. I don't care how enhanced you are. Eventually, it's going to come to a halt.
Well, I think men and women got to realize that if you know you ain't committed to this person, play your role until that role ends. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm saying that from life experiences. Even if you're engaged to somebody, that's not a commitment per se. Make sure you get a commitment to that person because humans are stupid, and I always say that. I stand 10 toes down, and humans are stupid, and they like to think that maybe they're missing out on something. So I'm going to get something else, type of thing. I don't know, but as I said, I've had it happen to me, not in that scenario, but it wasn't fun. But I did what I got to do, and I'm cooling, I'm good now. But I didn't make an ass out of myself on the internet. You know what I mean? It's like I would never do that. So anyway, that's all.
Yeah. So in closing, Zion, get your lawyer on this and put a muzzle on this woman. And if your stepfather isn't going to give you the game, I'm a father. I'm going to give you the game. You're professional. Have your lawyers deal with this because your brand is being affected. Have them put a muzzle on this woman. Lawyer up.
Well, I mean, and even if she never shuts up, they might put a cease and desist on her or a gag order, whatever. They might do that. But my thing is, it ain't on her because you got more to lose than she does. It's on you. Now, take these lessons and do better. Be a better human. Stop being a player. And if you're going to be a player, make that known to the women that you're with that I'm a player. I ain't settling down with nobody. And most definitely make them sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. That you can't talk about what it is we're doing here.
Lawyer up, NDAs, exactly.
Yeah, but being a hoe goes both ways. He's a hoe, she's a hoe, but it's like for him, as I said to her, you can't, or as I said about Kimora and them, same thing. You can't scorn a person and then dictate the narrative. Well, you should just be cool with how I did you. Just like it. That's ideal. That she would just say, oh, it sucks, but I'm going to go, it's ideal. But most people aren't going to do that, right? Everybody ain't like me. That's like, hey, you know what? Whatever. Some people are, I'm gonna air, the whole world gonna know what you did to me.
Right. So or like that one girl. Remember, she sent her brothers over there to shoot up the place or whatever the thing was.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can't handle, and I guess in her assessment, being cheated on. Everybody can't handle that. Some people will go bug nutty until they end up getting themselves in trouble or worse, right? So yeah, just a young man, do better. Be a better human. If you're going to be a player, make that known to everybody. If you're not, don't be a player. Settle down to a good choice. You got a lot of money coming your way. Get with a woman, build something, and be gone from that. I think that he could surmount this. I mean, not to bring up the late great Kobe, but he did. He overcame it, and he became a better human. After that, he's young, so anything is possible. But I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, y'all, we'll be back. I want to put this up really quick. I saw this trending around the internet, quite a few places actually. It says, ladies, your husband, and that's accentuated for some reason, who pays 100% of the bills, wakes you at 3 a.m. and asks you to cook. What are you doing? Well, for me, and I like that it says husband, and I've done this for men that were not my husband. Y'all know I was married once for 10 months, okay? I've done this before. Even in my last relationship, he'll tell you, Demetra will get up and make me breakfast, because he went to work early, whatever. And like that wasn't a big deal to me. He was leaving out the house or whatever. We'll make you something to eat, breakfast or whatever. Or make sure you have something. You had lunch prepared the night before, and it wasn't no hot pockets, no Lunchables, nothing like that. I made extra from the night before when I made him dinner. And so he can have a good lunch, and I would wake up and make breakfast. So that didn't bother me. If he asked me, anytime he would ask me, hey, can you make me something? I'm hungry. Or most of the time I would ask him, are you hungry? What do you want for breakfast or lunch or whatever? If he would ask me, yeah, sure. I didn't say, there's something wrong with you. Nah, I don't feel like it. No,
I'm asleep. How dare you?
No, I mean, I think it would be odd, but I would be tired, and I would probably be like, you serious? I might get some clarification. You serious? You dreaming? Or you just like, you know, I'm serious. I'm hungry. Can you? Yeah, sure. I would get up and do it, right? But I'm not demonizing any woman who wouldn't do it. I think it's a kind of extreme request. She doesn't want to do it. I'm not mad at her, but it would be my pleasure to do it. So that's what I could say. So anyway, we gonna go, y'all. We'll be back live at 5 p.m., maybe like 5:15, 5:05 or something like that, to kind of give us a break. I'm gonna upload this. So anyway, we'll see y'all on the other side. Of course, we do have ways to help the channel if you so please. I please you to do so. We would love and appreciate it. So anyway, we will be back shortly. Peace.